morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. And, the whole purpose, I think, of blockchain is decentralization, and we are all part of the decentralization movement. And it, it may be a winner take all kind of a game ultimately, whether decentralization or centralization prevails. It will certainly help decentralization to get a lot of users and momentum. And the thing that's historically in information technology brought the largest and fastest adoption of a particular thing app has been messaging and chat, unquestionably, historically over and over again. And that's part of the reason we've been focused at Elixir, and it was now part of X6 Network, on making a distributed, totally decentralized chat system that is attractive to use, and that requires it to be low latency. In other words, there can't be too long a delay between when you send the message and when it's received. And, I open sourced mixing in general, back 40 years ago. And there have been a whole series of implementations of it, from Mixminion to Mixmaster. There was the work at in Dresden by Andreas Fitzmann, now deceased, unfortunately. There's, there was the Zero Knowledge Network, and then Tor, brought to you by the CIA. Some of these projects, none of them really has done that well technically, in my view, and some of them have, tried to make mixing their own. They didn't want to acknowledge that what they were doing was mixing, but many of them celebrated it. But there's also been 5,000, I read, publications that reference the original mixing article that I wrote back, when I introduced mixing, and nobody has found a way to speed it up. In other words, to reduce the delay between when you send a message and when it's received, until the CMix team found a way to reduce that by a factor of 1,000, roughly, maybe a little more, by allowing all the computation to be done in advance and reducing the amount of computation that has to be done in real time. And this is a fundamental improvement. And by using the very large batches and choosing the teams randomly, we've created, in a distributed manner, unprecedented level of security. Now, you may think, well, this is all, maybe that's over much than is needed, but I don't think so. So first thing is, we need to really create a messaging system so that we can get widespread adoption to get decentralization to take off. I think that's clear. Do we need a fully decentralized system with low latency? Yes. Centralized messaging systems that people have migrated to because of privacy concerns have two fundamental problems. One is that those who operate the system, whether it's Apple or whoever, can see all the message traffic. In other words, they see who's talking to whom and when. And they also often are involved in the setup of the keying, so they see who has established communication with whom. And moreover, and you don't have to take my word for it, but there are some articles in the literature which have carefully analyzed the protocols for even the Apple Messenger, showing that they technically would have the ability to what's called man in the middle the communication. That means they could intercept the setup of keys in such a way that they can create a key for themselves and sort of play one side off against the other and listen in on all traffic for that pair of communicants and change the messages at will. And so these are very fundamental problems. So I think that what we've done here at Elixir is just a huge breakthrough from a technological point of view, finding a way to fully decentralize mixing, implementing this super low latency approach in a really surprising and great way by randomly choosing the teams and everything, and also um, you know just the whole community support of having several hundred 260, I think, about uh, individual people who have built high-powered special computers to run this CMix, and we've been running in beta, as you know, for quite some time now. So, I mean, in the whole history of mixing, there hasn't been this kind of a grassroots, powerful network built at all. So this is a huge thing in and of itself, and I think all of the members of this community are to be congratulated for their participation in this. So, I think tying it all together, what we as a and I'm now speaking very broadly as the community and internally, and the Elixir project itself have done is an amazing thing that